cucumber plants, and later on today we're going to be turning these cucumbers into great refrigerator dill pickles. But we just wanted to come out here and show you how we did our cucumbers. Obviously we don't have a lot of space, so we planted 4 plants right here in the ground, just directly in the ground, and as they started to grow we trellised them. We just took some sticks that we found around here in the woods. We took some crafting twine and we roped it all the way around, and we helped them, but they started to grow up. So we just wanted to encourage you that if you don't have a lot of space, you can still plant any kind of vegetable pretty much, and you can get crop from it, just like we did. Now, some of the plant, as it's a vine that grows, did grow back into the zinnias, and we found this little jewel last night. It was a huge cucumber, bigger than my hand. It was hiding back in the zinnias. But we also have some planted, as I'll show you in just a minute, in a sandbox. So you can pretty much take whatever you have and you can plant anything. But these did start from seed. So some of our plants we bought that were already seeded and started, but these we bought cucumber seeds, and we just started them in a little pot, and then as they got a little bit bigger we put them in the ground, and they've done really great. So for the other cucumber plants, we decided to try to grow them in a container, and since we were limited on containers, we took this old sandbox, this is an old turtle sandbox, and we drilled holes in it so it would drain, and then we added good dirt, and we put 4 plants in here. But they started growing so good we had to also trellis them, so I just put some sticks and made a teepee above it, and as you can see, it has grown all the way to the top, and the cucumbers are just hanging down from all of those plants. Today I'm going to show you how to make a great refrigerator dill pickle. 2 weeks ago we had enough cucumbers ready that I made a batch, and this year I used a different recipe than last year, and they have turned out great. They stay in the refrigerator for up to 3 to 4 months, probably a little bit longer, but I just like to play it safe, and that's what the recipe said, so we'll see how long that they last. Last year I made pickles, and I used some cucumbers that my dad had grown, and I canned them. And that is the process of where you put them in the hot water bath and to process the can. And they tended to be a little bit soggy. So we weren't real happy with those. So these so far have been a winner. I've done spears and I've done slices. So today I'm just gonna walk you step by step about how to take a cucumber and turn it into a pickle. It's a really easy process, like I've already said. All you need are some fresh cucumbers. And I prefer the fresh ones versus the ones in the store, because and the ones at the store are fresh, but if they are put into the grocery store, they usually have a wax coating on them, and you can take your fingernail and even scratch it if you want to just test it. I'm not sure if all the organic ones are like that, but you can see the wax come off. And the reason why those don't make good pickles is it has that wax coating on it, and the vinegar and all of your spices, it won't penetrate into the cucumbers peeling to get in there to give it all that good flavor, and it tends to mess it up. So you want to try to find some locally grown cucumbers, either some that you've grown or a neighbor has grown, or you can wash the ones and look up how to get the wax off, but it's extremely hard. So it's best to find some fresh cucumbers from a local farmer or your own backyard. So I'm just going to take you today step by step of how to make pickles. Everything you see here is pretty much all that you need. I have my pot. That is to make my brine, and brine is just your vinegar mixture that you pour onto your cucumbers, and it's really easy to make. And since we are not going to process them, all we have to do is heat it up, get it all the salt dissolved, and then pour it on top of our cucumbers. And all you need is vinegar, water, and pickling salt and black peppercorns. I use dill. I don't have fresh, so I just have to use the dill. I would love to grow some dill, but I haven't got any of that planted yet. But anyway, and I like to put garlic cloves in mine as well. Now the reason why I use pickling salt is that it helps your pickle juice or the fluid in there to stay clear. If you use regular table salt, it tends to make it a little bit more cloudy. You can use kosher salt as well. That does help. So I'm just going to go a little step by step to show you how to make pickles. For the basic brine recipe, we're just going to add the vinegar, which I've already added some of that, and then we're going to add water, and then we're going to add sugar. Now I know you may be wondering, why in the world is she adding sugar to a dill pickle recipe? But the one thing that I have found out is that if you don't add a little bit of sweet to it, it's got such a strong bite, it kind of burns your mouth with the strong vinegar. So I've learned to add a little bit of sugar, add the pickling salt, which I've already measured out, and I'm gonna have the recipe for all of the measurements of this in the description bar, so don't worry about how much is she putting in there. I don't know what she's doing, but pretty much just want you to see how simple it is. So now I'm going to show you how to cut your cucumber to make it fit into your jar more precise. And if you'll see, we picked all of our cucumbers to where by the time that I top them and cut the bottoms and the tops off, they will fit perfectly in my jar. So all I'm going to do is cut the bottom off, and you always need to take off the end where the bloom is, because I have read that it can create poisons or something in the, I'm not real technical, but I've heard that it can cause poisons into your pickles. Anyway, so we're going to top it and end it, and then all I'm going to do is just take the cucumber and slice it down the middle. My crew likes the spears better, so we're going to just cut it into long ways there. And then again. And if it doesn't quite, if it's still a little bit too tall, you can cut off a little bit of the end, but you just stand them all up in there, just like that. And like that one's a little bit too tall. So now that we've gotten our cucumbers sliced up and put in our jars equally, we're going to just dip our brine that has had a few minutes to cool. And what I did was I let that boil. When it came to a rolling boil, I boiled for about 2 minutes. And now it's just been sitting here. Some people prefer it to be completely cool before they add it into the cucumbers, but it didn't really make a difference last time. The pickles that I did at the beginning, they didn't really turn out any different than the ones that whenever it was completely cool. So we're just gonna pour the vinegar, the brine on top of our cucumbers. And it's a messy little project here because the salt, if it gets on your oven, it will crystallize and it just gets a mess. But if you can see, you just want to cover your cucumbers with the brine so that there's plenty of liquid on top. And then you just add your lid, just like so, and your ring, and tighten it ever so gently. And then you're going to just let it sit on your counter until it gets completely cool, and then you will need to refrigerate it.
Hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to get notified every time we post a new video.
That's right. So if you make pickles, let us know how they turn out. You can comment below to let us know how yours turned out, and if you have any questions about what we did today. And I will have the recipe posted in the description bar.